Red Claws will be probably the best Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred starter build for your Warlock going into the expansion. And I want to show you my leveling build today, which I will go for, and then also kind of endgame variant and what I will do at the endgame. So let's gonna start right into this build. So first of all, which skills did we take? Well, we did take Red Claws as our main skill. Then as our ultimate, the Metamorphosis, that with a cleave will change our skills into Abyss skills and will get us up to 15 ranks of Abyss skills, and also gives us Shadow Form every second 4 stacks. Then Profane Sentinel, so we have a recast skill and also a skill to make the enemies vulnerable. Why recast skill? Because with the Blasphemous Fragment, we're gonna get 20% more damage when we recast the enemies, and we're also gonna hex the enemies. So that's pretty amazing. And also while we're in Shadow Form, we're gonna deal 30% increased damage. So we're gonna go for the Mastermind chart, and we also get increased movement speed per stack, and also recast skill no longer break Shadow Form spells at a cost of 2 stacks Shadow Form per cast. And because of Metamorphosis, we can kinda remain or retain our Shadow Form stacks. Then in addition, we have the Nether Step, just get some movement speed along the way, and also another source of Shadow Form. And then also the Summon Lawless. This is the demon from the Mastermind chart. I still need to test this out. I didn't have any info on it yet. I will update you when I will play along the way. And then I also got the Command Fallen. Why did I command the Fallen? Well, first of all, it is a lesser demon. And with a lesser demon, we can generate additional wrath. Also, we're gonna get 1 dominance every 15 time the Command Fallen hits enemies. Doesn't need to do any sort of damage. It just need to do any damage to get the dominance. And then also that the Command Fallen is the Abyss skill, and then will get us 3 grunts every 20 seconds, and they're gonna generate 10 wrath per hit, so an additional source of our wrath. In addition, I got the Profane Sentinel, and we got a modifier casting Profane Sentinel. It uses your lesser demon skills to make enemies vulnerable for 5 seconds. And because this is a demon skill and this Command Fallen, we gonna get this as a vulnerable source, so we can switch to our other cleave, get more damage with our Dread Claws. Speaking of Dread Claws, which modifier are we gonna take? Keep in mind, as a disclaimer, you cannot just straight get all of your glyphs. You will unlock them level by level. So I think like you're gonna unlock this at level 3, the first glyph at like level 7, and then the next one at level 15 or something. So keep this in mind. But we're gonna use the cost reduction. Why? Because it is a level build, and we just wanna get as much resource as we can. Later on, you will definitely switch up to damage if you can maintain your Dread Claws without this cost reduction modifier. In addition, we have Ambush. Our Dread Claws deals now increased damage with its first Claw Strike, and when we attack from stealth, all Claw gains this bonus, and we don't vulnerable because of the Profane Sentinel. But you can still use vulnerable until you hit your Profane Sentinel, or if you're gonna recognize that it is not enough. Of course, we're also gonna play with the aspect of peril, where we're gonna do more damage every time we're gonna affect the enemies with a vulnerable effect. So, and also we're gonna get the Cascading Dread. The Dread Claw spells out 4 additional claws, and each of them deals 30 damage. And I'm still thinking about if I should go for the circle one. I still need to test this out. Yeah, I will then also report to you back when I tested this. So then we also have the Nether Step, as I said, as our movement spell. With Nether Step grants an additional charge, so we can cast this more often. With Nether Step, we're gonna get shadow form stacks, more movement speed, and also we get immune while we're casting it. Is kind of fail safe. And right now I have also War Construct, and I still don't know how this is meant. I don't know if this will do 1000% damage or if enemies take channel 1000% more damage. But I think, yeah, it will do 1000% more damage. What do you think about? Um, write your opinion, or if you know it better, in the comments down below. Can also take movement speed, so we're gonna get more movement speed out of it. So then, as I said, Profane Sentinel, the vulnerable source, then the focus glare, so it's gonna do more damage. This is not that important, and also white beam, so the Profane Sentinel's beam is larger. It is also recast skill. So recast skill means that we're gonna trigger our blasphemous fragment. So, and last but not least, we have our metamorphosis. Normally, we're going to transform into our demon form, get all of our archfiend spells, but thanks to Terror Demon, we're going to get all ranks to Abyss skills for 15 seconds, and it does not replace any skills. We're also going to get 4 Shadow Form stacks every second, and Abyss skills do not break its stealth. So, Metamorphosis is now an Abyss skill and has a 30-second cooldown. In addition, we also have maximum life at the beginning to get more max life. And I still didn't have either stagger bar or phase 2 enrage equipped. Why? Because stagger bar is kind of problematic because you're gonna get a crowd control effect pretty often. And also phase 2 enrage is maybe good in the later stages of the game when you have temerity, but in the beginning it is not really good. So you can also try to go for things like Terror Swarm, then with the pull, that it will pulls the enemies to the center, and then also things like the Searing Infestation, that Terror Swarm will circle around you. But that's up to you. I will also test this out and then report to you back. I will also change out one aspect. I think it is the ultimate aspect. So now, which aspects we're gonna take? Well, first of all, aspect of might, because we're gonna use our command fallen sometimes, and so we're gonna get another 20% damage reduction. This is still without our Unix. Then aspect of diabolical armor, we're gonna get more damage reduction when we're in demon form. And for Runewords, we have Igni and mod to get more damage reduction. Then for gloves, we have conceited aspect. How can we trigger the shield with our synergizes, where we're gonna get a bulwark and a shield. We have also aspect of scorn, where we gonna absorb our lesser demons, which would be the command fallen. When we lose 10% of maximum life, still need to test out, because I didn't find any better aspect to slot in. For boots, we have the wild bold aspect, but you can kinda also go for things like aspect of impedance or something. Yeah, you can kind of try and play around with it with some other things that you will find along the way. Then for weapon, we have the malicious aspect. While we're in demon form, we increase more damage for every enemy close enemy. Then for offhand, we have the vehement brawl aspect. After we cast an ultimate skill, we're gonna get more damage for 8 seconds, and we're also gonna get 2 additional ultimate skill rings. This is still aspect I maybe will switch out until the start, because we have a 30-second cooldown of our metamorphosis, and we only have uptime of 8 seconds. So either I can reduce our cooldown of the metamorphosis in another way, or I need to change this aspect. But yeah, I will update this into the charm liner. I will also switch to mobilities when I have more time to polish all this stuff. Then for amulet, we have the insidious aspect. This will give us by far the most damage. While we skill steal increased damage for each stack of shadow form. And then aspect of peril, every time we make the enemies vulnerable, we're gonna get additional damage. And then also top of that, remorseless aspect. After we kill 30 enemies or demons, we're gonna get increased damage. For Runewords, as I said, Igni mod, Diaque, and for our Talisman, try to get the Baru of Hara Shadow as soon as you can get. I think you will get this with like Torment. This have large variety of shadow form bonuses. It's pretty nice. So yeah, let you get this as your first priority also. I won't talk about any gear affixes yet because we don't really know which gear affixes are in the game then, but I will try to get a video out as quickly as possible after I played the Warlock build. So this was kinda the leveling build. Then you can go into the endgame build. Okay, I have petitioner, but you kinda don't need to have petition. But you can also go for the Gutslayer's Crown in the later stages when you're gonna pull the enemies together, when you attempt to CC them. And also instead of the Ring of Starless Skies, you can also take things like the Seal of Ophamin. For offensive deals increased damage and summons an additional eye that follows you for 10 seconds. It's still not good, but then you can also go for another legendary damage aspect. But yeah, I will try this out for my own yet because right now the aspects are still kind of not that great. I hope we gonna get all of the info later on when it will start. And then we're also gonna change some things up. We go without our command fallen. This was still like old variation of my build. Just take Infernal Breath out, then take the Profane Sentinel in with the modifiers from the last one. But now we have our Dark Prison, because with a Dark Prison, then we are weakened, and either we can go for Calamity to go for large damage, or we can also go for Chain Aura, so we're gonna get like an aura around us. We can weaken all the enemies, and then we also can fortify ourselves. So we have like fortify, weaken, vulnerable, and all of the good stuff we want. So yeah, that was kinda the change I did take then. And I also take the phase 2 enrage because now I have humanity. Still don't know if you can go for 100% barrier. I need to I hope I could show you a pretty cool starter build that will, I think, mostly tear apart all the uh, later game and also the leveling phase of the game. So yeah, please write on your starter in the comments down below, and also what do you gonna play with that on, and we're gonna meet each other at the next video. Bye.